In paradise, bad still happens. First Insurance protects your auto, home, and business with great coverage, rates, and service. Ask your agent for a quote from First Insurance.
So I'm here at Montgomery Power Sports, and for the last year I have been trying to get a Indian Scout to do a review on. Well, guess what? They sell as fast as they can bring them in. In fact, they sell before they hit the showroom floor. There is a waiting list for the Indian Scout. So, in lieu of my riding one, we have put together a couple riders who own the Indian Scout, and we're going to get their impressions. Say hello to Paul and Mark. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it?
Hi. Who had the first one?
I had actually the first Indian Scout on the island.
Okay, and when you were looking for a motorcycle, what pointed you to the Indian Scout?
I really liked the look of the Indian Scout. I initially came in, I was looking at the Chieftain. It's just too big of a bike for me right now. I've only been riding for about 4 years, so the size of the Indian Scout was perfect for me.
Did you look at any other bikes before you chose the Indian Scout?
I didn't actually. Well, I was prior. So I owned a 2003 Honda Shadow, and then I needed an upgrade because it was only a 750. Quickly grew out of that. And I was actually looking at the Rocket 3 Roadster from Triumph, and that's about 2,300 cc's. I think a little too much for this island. And then a buddy of mine showed me the Indian Scout. I had no idea it was coming out, and first time I looked at it, I knew I was getting that bike.
Did you consider the Harley Sportster at any point?
Not at all. Actually, when I was looking at Harleys, I was looking at the Fat Boy Low.
I checked out the Harleys. I was interested in them. Not in the Sportsters at all. I was the Fat Bob. Was the only thing I would have gotten from Harley. But I think it's a better performing bike than the Sportster is, the base model at least.
Now, I've heard that the power to weight ratio on these things is pretty amazing. Is it a fast bike?
It's insane. It takes off like a, can I say, a bat out of hell? It takes off, man, it moves.
Yeah, I've been able to pass in 6th gear on the highway without any problem.
What type of reaction have you had from the guys you ride with?
I hear lots of comments. People pulled up next to me and asked me plenty of questions about it. And I think even a lot of the Harley riders are impressed with it. They respect Indian now. It's not the animosity it used to be. So.
I mean, I own a piece of history, and that was another reason at looking at it. I mean, the bike hasn't been reproduced the way it is now in over 40 years. It's amazing.
Has anything gone wrong with the bikes?
I just lost my shifter peg on the road, and I guess that's due to it's a screw-on onto the shifter, and I guess they didn't kind of glue it on or put something in there that leaves it stuck. So that's the only thing I've gotten so far.
I got my bike in January. The only problems I've had, my shifter peg also fell off. I was able to retrieve it, so I just put some glue on it, screwed it back in, and it's fine. But there was one recall that Indian issued for the back brakes, and that was handled quickly. They had the parts, so I was in and out that day.
How difficult is it to buy a bike that you haven't seen or ridden?
That was scary. Sight unseen, I understood it was the first run for the Indian Scout. So you get a little nervous about that, especially knowing that after the first year, they're gonna come out with all these great new gadgets. Like for the 2016, there is gonna be the availability of the ABS, some additional seats, a bunch of other options available. So that wasn't gonna be available to me getting the first run of the Indian Scout, but it's just the idea of being able to get the first run of a legacy bike. Yeah.
I was a little scared at first, but I did a lot of research, and you know, there was a lot of test riding at Sturgis and things like that. So there's a lot of YouTube video of the bike being ridden by guys who were between my height, 5'5", up to 6'5", and all had great reviews, and I couldn't go wrong with an American classic like that.
I notice you're both running solo seats. You ever think about throwing a little pad on the back for the significant other?
I'm on the fence right now whether I want to or not. Just having an extra rider on it's a lot more dangerous. Right now I'm responsible for myself, and the drivers in Hawaii don't always pay attention to the bikers, so I'd much rather it just be me than me and somebody else. So it takes away any argument at all. If I don't have the seat there, there's no option.
Well, I'm single, so I'm not too concerned about an extra seat. I've had a couple of friends, you know, female friends back home, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna come visit you. I want to ride your bike." Like, you're gonna have to buy that seat if you wanna ride. I'm not putting one on.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Construction is back, and I'm proud to give a lift to the hard-working men and women building our communities. I'm Doc Bailey of Doc Bailey Cranes and Equipment, a 25-year industry veteran providing cranes and bucket trucks. We are always reliable, always confident, and if there's a problem, we'll never leave you hanging. We service everything we rent and provide some of the best operators. So call Doc Bailey, 888-DOC-BAILEY or 888-DocBailey.com.
About 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Knights are doing their annual school supply drive that helps schools on the west side. Here we are. Bikes haven't shown up yet, but I'll keep you informed.
Getting ready for the toy parade this year, brother. Getting ready. It's going to be looking good. Okay.
Bike blessing, as you can see, a lot of people showed up to this, and we're expecting a lot more. I'm gonna try to catch some bikes. as acting president now, Mo'opuna, and we're here at the Bike Blessing, another big success, all right?
Yes, it is. Mo'opuna's 27th annual Bike Blessing, and it's been a lot of fun. Seen a lot of old timers coming back and a lot of new clubs participating, so we appreciate all the support we've been getting.
Yeah, and thank you so much for letting the Pacific Knights piggyback and would do the school drive, the school supply drive at the same time.
Sure, you know, we're all about trying to help the Keikis out, so when the Pacific Knights approached us many years ago and said, hey, can we team up? I mean, it was the best thing we could do to help both causes. So.
And this is kind of a new thing because it's actually now $3 to do the Bike Blessing, which is dirt cheap because you have some expenses, right?
Yeah, well, you know, we had a nice big parcel place down in Waimanalo for many years, and the management kind of changed over there. So it's kind of hard to find a place big enough to house everybody. And when we do, they want an arm and a leg. So luckily, Sioux Farms out here in Haleiwa, I mean, if they're, you know, we're paying a little bit, but it's not anything that's going to break the bank. So, and we don't want to charge the bikers too much. We'd like it to be a free service, but you know, there's some bills that's got to get paid.
Well, let's face it, Roy. In today's dollar, $3 is almost free.
And my bar tab is about 15 times bigger than that. So.
Mahalo, bro.
Thank you, Andy.
You got it.
Hey, thanks.
Where's the shot though? Where's the shot? Oh, there you go.
This is Andy Bumatai, and I have a question for you. Do the brands you choose while grocery shopping help feed those in need in Hawaii? Did they help support the Puna community rebuild after the hurricane? When you have a choice, choose to make a difference locally. Choose Hawaiian Values. And by the way, if you don't see Hawaiian Values products at your grocer, club, or retailer, ask them to carry Hawaiian Values and support our local community.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do most of my stuff on YouTube, but Facebook is just taking swings at YouTube left and right. Because, and you'll notice it up front right away, I can post a video on YouTube with, 20,000 people that get emails when I post. I can post a video on Facebook with 4,000 people and get 10 times the views as on YouTube because Facebook is really, really pushing video. Oh, I've heard a lot of people say, back in the day that gaming wasn't going to be a cool thing, that nobody would ever watch gaming videos. The gaming videos are like YouTube's bread and butter, and now they've got big competition. I've heard people say the same thing about motovlogging, where motovlogging could be the next gaming of YouTube, where it could just grow to be huge. And some guys have grown to be very, very large, but I still think it's too niche, it's too underground, it's a little bit too weird for a lot of people to jump on board with. Whereas, you can get a gaming system for $400, or you don't have a gaming system and you're a 5-year-old kid and you can watch people playing games, which for some reason happens. But you can, it takes a lot more to get a motorcycle, and I think a lot less people dream about riding motorcycles than playing video games, I guess, which is sad because motorcycling is far and away more realistic. People don't have the attention spans for long moto vlogs, I don't think. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people struggle. But then there's people who will post, huge videos and barely talk at all, and they'll get just hundreds of thousands of views, and it doesn't make any sense. And what it comes down to is what YouTube chooses to promote. It can have tons of shares and tons of likes and tons of comments and tons of subscribers, but if YouTube doesn't promote it, it doesn't go anywhere. The only metric that really counts is that algorithm, and nobody knows what it's doing, because if you've ever searched anything on YouTube, you'll find garbage videos before you find anything good. So nobody knows really what that algorithm is or what YouTube's doing. Maybe they've got a dirty secret where they promote crap, and so people click it, they show the ad, and then they click out. I don't know. Where the money is made, if you're going the AdSense route, is you've got to actually search Google for what is making lots of money when people click it. So for example, and here's kind of an insider thing, and I'm sure everybody will do it, but if you put motorcycle insurance and then an insurer actually runs an ad on your video, somebody clicks that ad, you're gonna make 20 bucks for one click. Whereas, you know, you put Suzuki DRZ, you're gonna make $1.50, or $1 or 50 cents, you know, but still, whatever. Utah and motorcycling go hand in hand. So I'm staying in Utah because the motorcycling is unbelievable. If I didn't live in Utah, I probably wouldn't ride as much because the type of riding that I like, you have to have open trails. You have to have just massive open land or there's nothing. And I feel really bad for people on the East Coast or people in Europe. You know, they comment on my videos all the time. Man, I wish I had the open riding that you do. Everything is closed around here. And it's a real shame, you know? So yeah, riding in Utah, they just go hand in hand. It's all open. You can go just about anywhere you want. Private property is pretty few and far between. And the Bureau of Land Management and the state of Utah, they say, come on, come here, let's ride. So I love it. So I do this full time. And you know, for a lot of people, YouTube views, when they post something on YouTube, they get a lot of views, they don't get a lot of views, they don't really care. I mean, they get a little AdSense check from YouTube, and oh, that's great. But for me, it's, does my family eat ramen and macaroni and cheese and hot dogs for the next month? Or can we get a little bit more? For me, it's a big deal. And so where I want it to be just a personal thing and not care about that stuff, you know, deep down you have to care because my family's well-being depends on it. And it's really scary because, you know, where I'm choosing kind of this career path that is so risky and so just, I mean, who does this? It's the weirdest thing ever. Where I'm choosing this career path, it's risky. And, you know, I've got a master's degree in education and I'm not teaching. And people say, you're an idiot. Why are you not using your master's degree? And I said, because I love teaching, but that's not the actual passion. The passion is to do this. The scary thing is when the passion makes my family suffer, that's when I start to feel really guilty. So I feel very strongly about following my passion, but I also have to take care of my family. So when it comes down to it, it's a fine balance. You've got to go, you know, you've got to be personable, but I do strive to become bigger.